inside the Niger Delta.
Nigeria is a major producer of crude oil, endowed with many highly skilled petroleum engineers with the technical expertise to refine vast quantities of petroleum products for local and external consumption. Sadly, however, Nigeria's capacity to refine its highly demanded Bonny Light variety of crude oil in the global market has been stifled by the moribund state of the country's refineries, a situation that has given rise to several artisanal refineries in the Niger Delta attempting to address the many gaps witnessed in the availability and supply of petroleum products. One of such artisanal refiners of crude oil in the Niger Delta is Madam Black, whose interview featured prominently in our last edition. It will interest you to know that Madam Black's practical solution to the country's perennial energy crisis is generating reactions from several quarters.
If you legalize these guys, how good are they in what they do? Are we trying to manage what we have? Are we trying to just use sentiment of creating job for them? Yes, it will serve as a job opportunity for them, but the question is, how good are they in refining these oils? How mediocre are they? Another question we're going to ask. So I think if the government can set up our refineries here in the country, we have about 2 or 3 of them, put them up to standard, because we end up transporting our fuel, our crude oil outside of the country, and we're not paying in high quantity to get this crude oil back in the country. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense to us as a country.
I feel if we legalize it, we would actually provide a platform where the government can adequately monitor what happens. The government can really have total control. So if they had something like perhaps the government train some of these people who are already into illegal refining, maybe they get a license, and the government then would get to be in charge of what happens. I think that would help the price of petrol. It's also going to help us with our production. Already we know that we don't have much of the refineries working in full capacity. We know that modular refineries, we don't have any yet. So if we were to legalize artisan refinery or refining, it would really help. It would really help the petroleum industry at large. It's just for the government to come out with a very solid policy.
Government should legalize the artisanal refining petroleum products in Nigeria because it's going to help a lot. Following what Madam Black has said, it is very, very conspicuous that if government should be able to legalize this, it will help to create much employment in our country. Look at our graduates. This woman has employed many persons in the country, not minding if they are graduates or not. So if government should follow the same way and legalize this, it will help many persons.
Government, start by visiting the area or identify the facility owners. When you know these facility owners, the next step is know their capacity of production. When you know the capacity of production, the third thing is pick the sample of their product, take it to lab and carry out analysis. All we need to do is to increase their capacity, so it can be something that will cover for the entire federation. When you decide not to give these people license, but you go to America and buy petroleum products from America, you come back to Nigeria here and give some few money in the name of subsidy, are you encouraging the country to grow? The answer is no. What you are giving as subsidy, put it in the local refineries in the creek. They will come out with a refined product that is same or better than what you import from US.
I think the government should build those standard refineries. The government should, because we pay tax. I mean, you pay tax, I pay tax, everybody. I mean, of course, you know, people who live in according to the law, they pay their taxes, and they deserve good standard refineries that will help them refine God-given resources that are in the soil. I mean, let's move away from crude oil for a bit. Let's go to Zamfara State, where mining of gold has become an issue. We need good industries. Government needs to give us industries.
Government should license these people who have this gift, this special gift. The government should come in and encourage them. There should be partnership in order not for us not to call them criminals. If we are in China, we are in Korea, the government will encourage these people to do what is right, especially to protect the environment.
Inside the Niger Delta.